morning, and how are you today? I'm fabulous, kinda, with my purchased cup of Joe. It's cappuccino. I've never had an urge for cappuccino ever in my life. And this morning I'm like, man, I think I want to get some cappuccino. At 4 o'clock in the morning when I woke up before 4 a.m. So it's going to be a long day. But that's okay, man. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend, and you're going to have a great day and a great week. This is a big week for me. Got some major decisions to make. Oh my gosh. But that's okay. I'll make them, and we'll move on with life. And speaking of life, I finally went out Friday night. I haven't been out just to socialize with a couple people in ages, and watched Louisville football and hung out, and then drove around a little bit yesterday and Saturday as well, shopping, hanging out with people, seeing people at parks, blah blah blah. And you know what? It made me ask a question. I wanted to ask you all this. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. Man, I mean, I rail on about some of the things that are going on because I think they're important to talk about. I'm not a fan of this administration. I think there are things going on, like I've said 1,000 times. There are people in power right now that want a lot more. And I fear it. I fear it a lot. But, man, even with the COVID stuff and some of the choices that are being made politically for us, man, how bad is it really? Think about it for a second. I mean, how bad is it really? We've made adjustments with this COVID stuff, and these are going to be, I hate the term so much, new norms. Yeah. Okay. But the thing is that we're constantly bombarded with the messaging that society's on edge, and we're gonna blah blah blah, and we're gonna do this. And my favorite was from the president. Our patience is running thin, dude. Get over yourself. And then there was definitely some frustration when it comes to this COVID thing. I have a friend who just lost another person this weekend, a young person too, in her 30s, I believe. It's not cool. It's not a good situation to be in. So if I'm sitting here saying I'm wondering how bad things really are, I'm not saying that COVID isn't a real thing. Please understand what I'm saying. I absolutely know it's a real thing. And I've made enemies on the right that I never thought I'd make an enemy of. People that I was friends with for a long time who now want nothing to do with me, which is fine. That's fine. Just like people on the left, because of some of the solutions they've come up with and some of their thinking as it relates to everybody's a racist, who I no longer associate with. Have a good life, man. I wish you the best. Stay out of my lane, unless you like getting run over. No one's going to mess with me when it comes to this stuff. And no one should mess with you either, but I digress. How bad is it? I drove around this weekend, hung out, went to a bar restaurant place on Friday, watched some football with a couple people, and drove around yesterday, drove around some Friday, went shopping Saturday. Shopping and whatever. Everybody's getting on with their lives. I don't see raiding parties, gunning people down in the street. I don't see masses of individuals screaming at each other, just, wantonly just getting together and being hateful and causing damage. But the media will paint it as the society's on edge. Maybe it is. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Now, the pompous, they're going to tell you, this is the way it is, and this is why. And you need to know that. And this is why this is this. Like I said, when it comes to science and when it comes to all of these things, when people start telling me about science and who get their information from one news station, who have never studied science, you're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. Knock yourself out. I mean, it's your time to waste. But I don't listen. I got my information from this stuff and society in general, not from cable news, and that's the point here. Cable news it's insidious, man. It's insidious, right and left. right and left. I'm not picking sides. Everything is all about keeping people angry. And we're here to inform you. No, you're not. You're here to get people pissed off so they come back and watch you again. So you can get paid. Man, if there's people doing that, does it get any more evil? How much more evil can you be if you're one of these people that you knowingly are protected by a clause in the First Amendment, but you're going to use that clause so you can become rich and famous and twist information around? If there's anybody out there, man, those are people I would really struggle praying for if they were sick. I'm sorry, I'm being honest. Because that's evil. That's pure evil. And there's people doing it. There are people doing it. And it makes you sick to your stomach. But, really, how bad is it? Are we being played? Are we being told that society's on edge and society's not on edge? Where? And that's one of the things I wanted to say is that sometimes we get so wrapped up in the minutia of statistics, of numbers, that we just don't look at something from 50,000 feet and say, like, no, looks fine to me. You can do that. You can just look at something and just know it's cool. But no, don't you understand that this is happening and that's happening and there's people are on edge and everybody... Okay, then why are buildings burning? If they're that on edge. Why aren't... It doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm hoping that once we get through this stage of existence, this set of issues we're dealing with right now, which they're heavy, I'm not saying they're not, that we just get through it with society still being nominal on some level, and that we just bring in a new set of issues that we got to deal with. And I'm reminded of the 70s all the time now, because when you look back at, we were barely teenagers by the time the 70s ended. But, man, of course we didn't know. We had no idea. But boy, it was awful. What the society went through. How it survived it. And then the 80s happened. And the 80s were a pretty happy time for most people. Hopefully we get to that. Hopefully we do. And, I think we will. But I just need to know from other people. I mean, do you see this? Do you feel like we're being played a little bit here? I don't know, man. I certainly don't trust this administration. I've said that. And I'm going to say it again. It has nothing to do with Democrats. Democrats are fine. Republicans are fine. I don't care about any of that stuff. It has to do with this particular batch of people. And some of the lies they've told us and that we're supposed to sit there and just take it. But what an administration doesn't lie to us, right? They all do it, right, left. I don't know. The point being is this. I've got a big week here. Very important week in my life because I don't know. I'm at a crossroads right now. And whatever choice I make, it's going to be big. I can't let this stuff influence me too much. Hopefully it's not influencing you as much. Hopefully you're finding some peace. Hopefully you're finding some joy and some decency out there, because it's there. And that's what I wanted to end this with. Man, I saw a lot of happy people this week. People just enjoying their life. If things were so bad, they wouldn't be. We're creating a false normal, almost. Or allowing a false normal to be created for us. It really feels like that right now. Once again, has nothing to do with the health issues that we have to deal with right now, which are very serious, or the challenges that we face with the media. But we're fine. I think so. We've dealt with hard times before. We survived the 70s were bad. Remember inflation? Holy cow. My Lord, it was terrible. Unemployment. Our national pride had been completely destroyed. Being an American became, was almost shameful. And still people trying to peddle that nonsense now. I'm not ashamed of being an American at all. Not at all. No more or less than I would be ashamed to be anything else. But that's it, man. I'm wondering. It's just a question. If you watch this, have you thought about this? Have you seen it? Are we making this up? Are we making this up because people are telling us to? Are we being pulled around by the nose to get mad at each other? At some level. Anyway, just a question as we begin the week, because I want to I have to find positive things to focus on. That's how you live life. Man, I love you. I really do. I love you. I want you to have a wonderful day today and a wonderful week. Drop a line if you want to say hi or to somebody else or whatever. We fix this. Not the people up top. We fix it. I love you. Take care.